So, Kaz versus Kaz, create a sim versus create a ZOI. That is what we are going over today. There is huge differences even though both of these games are life simulation games. The difference is The Sims 4 has been out for almost 10 years and inZOI is not even released yet, and we just got the Character Studio demo, which by the time this video goes up, I believe it's wrapped up now. Before we get into anything, I just want to say these comparisons are not meant to be, you know, like shitting on The Sims 4 in any sort of way or shitting on inZOI in any sort of way. I did another video kind of doing comparisons of the two, just talking about, you know, features that are in inZOI that are not in The Sims, you know. Definitely not a negative kind of video, just kind of like giving insight at the differences, talking about them, you know. I feel like there is pros and cons to both. So let's just go ahead and get straight on into things. So starting off with The Sims 4, I have two Sims here with no custom content, nothing. I don't even have my G-shade or reshade. So I wanted to make this as fair as possible. My entire mods folder is dragged out of my game. And usually I have lighting and stuff. The game will look a lot better than this in my videos, but this is how the game looks in its raw form. Honestly, I will say these Sims look pretty good for having no custom content or anything on them, but definitely a huge difference from inZOI with no mods and CC. Now with inZOI right now, it starts off a little bit different. You have to put in your first name and last name at the startup screen. I don't know how I feel about this. I do like how with Create a Sim you just jump in and then you can choose their names, because I want to create my Sims before I name them. You know, sometimes I don't even know what I want to create yet. So I'm hoping when the full game releases this will be different, but for right now with the demo you have to type in the name first. And here is a look at what a ZOI looks like with no mods and CC. So very big difference here, a huge difference. This ZOI looks like there's CC and there's not. And here is another example. Of course, you can notice you can only have one ZOI at a time in Create a ZOI right now. However, that is just with the demo. But yeah, there is no denying here that this just looks absolutely incredible, and you can even make it look better by going into the studio and changing the position of the lighting, changing the backgrounds. This is another thing that inZOI has that Sims does not. You can just go in and change the background as you please. And I'm assuming in the full version there'll be more options and maybe even an option to add your own, but for right now these are the options that we have, and I absolutely love this. I love how you can change everything. You do not need poses within inZOI either, and I wanted to include this here just because these are things that I can't even show you in Sims because my whole mods folder's out, so I have no access to poses and you can't pose them. You're gonna need pose player, but with inZOI you can just pose them straight here. And there's also the photo mode. As you can see, there is photo mode here, and you can get some great shots, which is not available in The Sims either. Here's hoping maybe we will get something like this in the future with The Sims 4, because you never know since it is still ongoing, but I just absolutely love this. So jumping back on over to Create a Sim, of course, as I already stated, with inZOI, at least with the demo, you have to put the name in before you load in. Of course, with The Sims, you put it up here. And then below that, you have the gender, male and female. And you can also go in here and you can do physical frame, clothing preference. This Sim will be able to become pregnant or get others pregnant. This Sim can produce milk. Can this Sim use the toilet standing? And then we also have sexual orientation, which you can do men, woman. Is this Sim romantically exploring? Yes or no? And this Sim is interested in woohoo with, and you can choose men and women or both. And then we also have romantic boundaries, and this is added in with love struck. So there is a lot going on here. Going along with that, we have infants, we have toddlers, we have children, teens, young adults, and elders. Those are all the age groups in The Sims, at least currently. And then we have different voices that you can choose from, and of course you can drag the bar up and down. And then we also have walk styles. I personally don't really use these anymore, but it is nice to have and I used to love them. And then below that we have relationships, where you can go ahead and do household member, sister, spouse, engaged, or partner. And then of course when there's other family members, there can be child, all that. Now with inZOI, it's a lot different right now, but again, this is just the ZOI demo. But currently, we can choose gender, which is female, male. So those are the only options. However, if you go into sexual identity, this is still in development, so you can't choose it, but you can see that we have male, female, and non-binary, and then also attracted to male, female, and non-binary. So this is nice that we do have it there, and it will be there when the game launches. As far as the age groups, currently we have the option to make a child, young adult, adult, middle-aged, and senior. So the names are a little bit different in comparison to Sims, and we currently don't have teens, but supposedly when the game launches there will be teens. So just right now that's not an option. And then currently we can't make babies in ZOI. I don't know if that will be a thing when the game launches, but there is babies in the gameplay within ZOI, even in the early access gameplay that YouTubers have been posting. So we just can't create them. As far as I know, there's just going to be babies. I don't know. There's no toddlers yet or anything, and we haven't really heard much about that, I don't think either. So I'm not really sure about that one. So there is no voices as of right now with inZOI, but again, that's just with the Creator Studio demo. So keep all these things in mind. Obviously right now we can only compare the demo to The Sims 4 Create a Sim, but also there is some features that are not in the demo that I know are available with inZOI when it launches, and I will be showing you guys that over on Steam. No walk styles, nothing like that. So as far as what you can customize here, it's pretty limited at the moment. And then of course, as we already went over, we will be able to choose who they're attracted to and stuff like that, just not currently. And I can definitely appreciate that the non-binary option is here, but that's pretty much it as far as customization in this range. There's definitely a lot more with The Sims 4, but who knows what will be added from now until release. Okay, so going into Aspirations. This is something else that is pretty different than what we have seen with inZOI. There's actually a couple things I need to talk to you guys about. So with The Sims 4, we have their aspiration, and honestly, the aspirations in The Sims 4 are pretty basic, I'm not going to lie, even though there's quite a few of them, and some of them do have multiple options. So there is actually kind of a lot to choose from, you know, there really is, but a lot of them kind of feel more like little tutorials, kind of ways to like guide you through the pack, and I kind of miss the way aspirations were in The Sims 3 days. I'm not always the biggest fan. I kind of ignore the aspirations a lot. It's a very rare occasion when I focus on them, I'm gonna be honest. I always forget about them. They just don't really grab my attention, but there is a lot to choose from here, you know. I think my favorites is probably the ones that are in family, and maybe also the love, but still, I don't know, I overlook these a lot. So with inZOI, you can see we do have this desired life option, which is in development. However, the people who did get to play early and post some videos did show this off. So this is what it looks like here, desired life. This is what I would compare most to Aspirations. Personally, I like this more from what I've seen in videos. I, of course, have not played around with it myself yet, but we have abundant life, tranquil life, loved life, life of growth, free life, challenging life, wise life, creative life, life of contribution, and life of overcoming. I even love the photos for it, but that's besides the point. But I just really like the idea of selecting a desired life instead of an aspiration. However, as a bonus, there is something else with inZOI, and this is more so something that's going to be in-game, but the reason I'm including it is just because I do want to mention it, since it also seems kind of similar to a couple things we have in The Sims 4 that are available in Create a Sim, and that is ambitions. So kind of sounds like aspirations, right? And you can see there's financial success, career success, stay healthy, family happiness, and harmony and peace. It kind of works like aspirations. There's different steps. You know, you will have to do certain things. Yeah, it very much is like aspirations. But to me, it seems a little bit better. But I don't know. Again, I want to wait till I can play with this myself. You can see there's two different things, and it says this one's in progress. So I guess Joy of Parenting is complete. Again, not available in Create a ZOI, but it is comparable to the aspirations. And then one other thing I want to mention that again is available in the gameplay, but it is something that's available in Create a Sim, which I am going to show you guys in a minute, likes and dislikes. So we have preferences. In The Sims 4, we have a likes and dislikes system. In inZOI, there's one in-game. So I just want to include it because even though it's not available in Create a ZOI, it is in the game. And so I don't want to go and say, hey, in The Sims 4, we have likes and dislikes and we don't in inZOI, because it is available, it's just not in CreateZOI, at least not right now. So you can choose up to 10 and you can see likes are yellow and then the dislikes are a broken heart. So you can see here, this ZOI dislikes singing. And I don't know what a lot of these are, honestly. It'll tell you if you hover over them, but I do really like this and I'm happy that it's included, even if it's not available straight from CreateZOI. You can go in and change these straight in game, like you can just press on them. So heading back on over to The Sims 4, of course, this is how the likes and dislikes work for The Sims 4. Pretty different, but also similar in some ways. It's just, you know, this one you can choose right from CreateSim, but you can also, you know, gain them in game too. They just work a little bit differently, but overall the same type of system. And also for this one, you can have up to 50. With Lovestruck, you do get the option of turn-ons and turn-offs, so we're not going to dive too much into this, but it is here. And then this is the last thing for this category, is the traits. So the traits in The Sims 4 are very different from inZOI. In The Sims 4, you can have 3 traits, and we have different categories. There's emotional, there's hobby, we have lifestyle, and we have social. And there is a whole array of traits. So in The Sims 4, there is a lot of pros and cons to the traits for me. I always feel like we need more because some of the traits are just not giving, but I feel like they have improved on the traits. Some of the newer traits I do prefer more than some of the older traits. I really like the socially awkward trait. I love the generous trait, and these are all relatively newer. Whereas some of the older ones, sometimes I feel like they don't always give the biggest impact on your gameplay. Now with inZOI, it's a lot different. You have your trait right here. Again, I have no clue if things will change, but this does look kind of like it's the complete version of the trait system because each trait has a lot to them. So I actually do really like it. So you can see here, there is quite a few options, but nothing as close to what The Sims 4 has. But each trait has a lot more meaning. You know, I really like the dreamer one, perfectionist, socialite, artistic, explorer, entertainer. Those are all really fun. Also, when you click on them, they do have a very cute little kind of card, and I think they're all super adorable. So for example, when you click on dreamer, it says calm and tranquil, and you can see there's keywords here: easygoing, composed, principled. They have values, rule abiding, traditionalist. They also have a whole description here, which this part is similar to the Sims 4 traits. They have like the main description. So this is pretty much the same here, but then we also have characteristics. Prioritizes inner peace, frequently feels lethargic, tranquil, feeling lasts longer. And then, you know, if we were to go to artistic, then her characteristics will be enjoys artistic and creative activities, frequently feels sad, sentimental feeling lasts for a longer time, avoids conversation. So there is a lot to each one, and you can see the keywords here: introverted, sensitive. So it's like you have multiple traits within one trait because she's going to be sensitive and she's going to be romantic. Coexistence, autonomy, love, accomplishment, and then again the description here. But yeah, there's just so much to each one. Expert, frequently feels focused, smart, curious, critical, faithful. I really like the way the trait system works. I have to say, the only thing I wish is children and babies had different traits. They all have the same, and I feel like it should be different for the younger age groups, and then we can change their traits when they age up. So now moving on from all of, you know, the Sims and the ZOI's personality stuff and everything, moving into presets. We're gonna start with the ZOI presets. Sims also has presets, but it works pretty differently, but also pretty similarly in other ways. So with the ZOIs, it's pretty basic. These are all ZOIs that I've made, so ignore the duplicates. I don't even know what happened there. I don't know. Don't ask me. But these are the ones that you're gonna see when you jump in, at least for now with the demo. You know, you can go ahead and just apply them. It's gonna completely change everything. So let's just go ahead and start with you, I guess. So we're just gonna go ahead and start with this ZOI here. So now that you've done that, you actually can't change each face detail separately. So you can push and pull all the things, but you can see here, the only other option you can do is just a face preset. Like, you know, you can just go like this and change the face. But yeah, that's pretty much all you can do right now. So it's a little limited in that way. I don't know if this will change in the future. I would really like to see, you know, individual presets, different noses, different eyes, so you can really customize your ZOI. However, because Create a ZOI is so just realistic, I don't know, I do feel like the possibilities are kind of endless. And with the whole push and pull, like you can do quite a bit with this. You can, yeah, mess around with things quite a lot. You know, I've been able to make quite a few different looking ZOIs pretty easily, and it's been really nice. She does also have makeup on and stuff, but yeah, you can see, you know, the sliders are really awesome. And you know, this isn't even like half of it. Like if I was to take all her makeup off and mess with things, I feel like you would see things a lot clearer, how much things can really change. Even like the side of the nose, you can do all sorts of things. You can add a bump, you can push the eyes, like you can do all sorts of things. You can change a bunch of things with the nose, the chin, everything. So you can also zoom in very close, which I can definitely appreciate. Another really great thing that you can do in inZOI is turn on and off the symmetry. So if you turn it off, you're going to be able to, you know, just change one side of the face however you want, which I personally love. And then also there is basic edit mode. So this is where you're going to be able to just make the mouth bigger, more of just basic editing, you know, bring the nose up and down, you bring the eyes up and down, just like the basic stuff. So there's that. So with the Sims, it is very similar in the sense that you can also go into detailed mode and you can just drag. They don't have the little circles, but yeah, you can just drag. I do kind of prefer no circles, but I like both equally. When it comes to the way I can just like drag things, I do love that. You know, you can drag out the nose, you can do all the sort of similar stuff that you can do in inZOI. So I feel like all of you guys are familiar with that, but even without CC and custom sliders and all that, I do feel like you can do quite a bit. The plus side of The Sims 4 though, you are going to be able to go in and individually choose what preset you want, which honestly, inZOI needs this. Like honestly, I really appreciate this. I've always loved that we can change each one. You know, it's kind of what we've always been able to do in The Sims. You know, you can choose the nose and there's a whole bunch of different nose presets, everything you're able to do that for. With inZOI, you can choose your eyebrows separately, but everything else is kind of just with whatever preset that you chose. Of course, just like with inZOI, you can choose the eye color separately. You can do the same in inZOI, so that's really great. Now, something a lot of people have been talking about, the body customization. So in The Sims 4, when you don't have any mods or CC, we're gonna go over to the swimwear. I'm going to put the weight bar all the way up. This is the max body weight that they can be, and then also with the muscle all the way down and with the muscle all the way up. Technically, I guess this is the biggest, but this does have the muscle all the way up. So I guess we'll just put it in the middle, and I'll do the same thing for Create a ZOI. When you have custom sliders, you can of course do more. However, this is as much as you can do, but I am going to go ahead and just raise everything up as much as I can just to give you guys an idea. But yeah, this is how the weight works in The Sims 4. I still feel like it could improve. I don't know what her body shape was. Honestly, we're just going to leave it like that. I do still feel like they can improve here, but I do think they did a pretty good job. In The Sims 4, I just think it's 10 times better with custom sliders. Now with inZOI, I gotta say, even though some things are similar to The Sims 4, in terms of this, it's not too crazy different. In The Sims 4, I feel like the weight bar is a little bit better. There's a little more variety there, like in comparison when you raise it all the way up versus all the way down. I do feel like it's a little bit different in The Sims, but overall it's similar. However, the limitations more so come in. Oh, also, here's what it looks like with the full muscle. So this doesn't really change anything with the way their weight looks, where in The Sims 4, it does a little bit. This one just adds muscle definition. So you guys might prefer that or might not. It kind of depends, personal preference. But here's where things get more limited in inZOI, and that is with the sliding. You can see here, that is all I can go. And that's where The Sims does it better. So I'm hoping they improve on that. When it comes just to the slider here, it's not that far off, but the problems just come in with this. Like, you know, I really can't go much bigger than that, and I feel like you definitely can in The Sims 4. So here's hoping. I definitely have been seeing people give feedback for that, so here is hoping. Now, I do think some things with the body looks more realistic in inZOI because it is a more realistic game, but they just need to improve, I feel like. And yeah, you can move this up and down, which is great. Honestly, the chest, I feel like, has more of a slider option, which is surprising compared to everything else because, you know, the booty, that's it. That's it. This is probably the worst slider of them all. I just don't really understand that. It's barely, I don't know. You can see it did also change her face when I raised the weight up. You can see that. I do think that is pretty realistic, but overall, I do think there needs to be some improvements there. And of course, there is no body presets. That's it. It's just the 2 bars. Hopefully we can see some body presets. So that's another difference. Now, something else we need to highlight with inZOI is the fact that we have a color wheel. In The Sims 4, there is no color wheel option. So with inZOI, if you go into the hair, and pretty much anything, you can change everything however you would like. We also have base color, subcolor, highlight, highlight 2, highlight 3. The possibilities, it's beautiful. I am so happy with this. It's something I've been wanting. Like, look at that. It makes me so happy. And you can see, you can just go ahead and change everything however you want it to be. Some things you might not notice much of a difference, but yeah, like look at that. It is so cool. And of course, if we choose a different hair, there's just so much you can do. You can make things as crazy as you want to. You can change one side of the pigtails. And then of course, the color wheel does carry on for pretty much everything. So if we go into the makeup, you're gonna see there's a color wheel here. Same for the eyeshadow. You can just do what you please. And then same for the clothes. And also the eyes, pretty much everything has a color wheel to it. So of course, with The Sims, we just have the color options here. There is no color wheel. You know, same for the eyes, we just have these options to choose from. So a lot of people will resort to custom content to get different hair colors. However, one thing that inZOI does have a little more in common with The Sims 4 is the skin tones. It's not entirely the same, but The Sims 4 has come a long way with their skin tones, and you are able to change them. So, you know, this is a custom skin tone, for example. There's no color wheel, but if I was to choose this skin tone, I can go ahead and slide it to however I want, and I can make new ones. You know, I can do lots of different things. So, you know, I can make that a new skin tone. And I love this. I do wish there was a color wheel, so we're not there yet, and I don't know if we ever will be, but I can appreciate this. So similarly with inZOI, when you go to the skin, there is like the preset options, but then once you choose a preset, you can go in and change it however you would like. You can do crazy things too. If you want pink skin, you can do so. So I think that's really, really cool. And then along with that, there is different options here that usually in The Sims 4 you have to use custom content with, and that is things like brow crease, cheeks, smile lines, eye bags. Look at that. You can just add eye bags in just like that. So I think that's a nice touch, but I wanted to include that since it is just right included right in the skin tone category. So something inZOI does not have yet is the option to choose different teeth. That is not available in inZOI. They all have the same teeth. And then of course we have a skin detail section in The Sims 4, whereas in inZOI it's just makeup, and even the freckles are in the makeup category, whereas we have separate makeup here. So as far as clothing goes, there's similarities and differences. The main difference being in The Sims 4 we have everyday, formal wear, athletic, sleep, party wear, swimwear, hot weather, and cold weather, and you can choose each individual outfit for each one, and they're categorized between rows like this. And then of course you have your accessories, your shoes, all of that. And then we also have nails, which inZOI has as well. So going on over to inZOI, we have the outfit category, and we have outfit presets. We have this, which is like custom outfits that have been made, and then we have tops, outerwear, sets, bottoms, accessories, shoes, underwear, and custom outfits. So you do have the option to make a custom outfit in inZOI, so that is a difference from The Sims 4, but right now you would just have your main outfit and that's it. I have no idea what their plans are because I'm assuming you'll need different outfits some way, somehow, when they go to bed and stuff, but I really haven't heard anything about that. So as of right now, you just choose their one outfit and that's it. There's no option to choose multiple outfits. You have your clothing here. A cool thing is you can layer any top with a jacket. So if you go to outerwear, you can see she's wearing a jacket. So you can kind of do whatever you want there, but it is pretty limited, at least right now. However, the clothing options we do have are really nice. You know, this is like a base game, and I think they are really nice for base game clothing. And they just look, I don't know, the texture on them looks really, really nice. It fits with the ZOIs beautifully. And then yeah, the shoes are separate, accessories are separate. And then there's also the other accessories, which Sims also has. The accessories here will include things that are on the head and, eyewear, necklaces, earrings, hair, and then the nails are here, which The Sims also has nails. That is pretty much everything with Create a ZOI, at least for the demo. And then of course, we have the whole photo studio mode that I already went over that is not available in The Sims 4 at all. You would have to get mods and stuff for that. Overall, I like each one for different reasons. If I could mesh the two together, it would be the perfect create a character, I'm just gonna call it. Comment down below which one you like better. Also keep in mind, one of them is a complete game, the other one is a demo, so there is some differences there we do have to keep in mind. I'm sure Create a ZOI is gonna expand, and the features that are kind of weird right now will probably, be fixed. And of course, things like Desired Life will become available. As far as how the characters look with no mods and CC in each game, inZOI wins on that. However, they are very different graphic styles, so I can't even exactly compare them. What I'm mostly comparing is the fact that inZOI naturally looks like it has custom content. That's kind of more so what I'm comparing, not the graphics themselves, because of course you really can't compare the graphics. One is cartoony and one is realistic, and I love both of those type of art styles. That's not a problem for me. I love me a realistic game and I love me a cartoon game, and having the option to go back and forth between both of them makes me so happy. Sometimes I'll be in a cartoony mood and sometimes I'll be in a realistic mood, and that's okay. But it's more so that inZOI just looks like it's custom content. There's so many things where you would think you went and downloaded it, but it's just in the game. And with The Sims, without custom content, I still like my Sims, I think they're pretty cute, but nowhere near as how much I love them with my CC. Whereas inZOI is just, looking CC-ified as is. So I really do appreciate that. Here's my little Bella Goth that I made, and I just think it's so cool how you can create these realistic characters and they just look so good. So you guys, that is gonna be the end of my Sims 4 Create a Sim versus inZOI's Create a ZOI. And remember, this is not like a battle of which one is better. I just wanted to go over the differences between them both. Oh, and last thing before we wrap it up is actually Canvas. I'm gonna go over this quickly. So for example, you can upload your ZOI here and you can add in pictures, which I think it's really nice that you can just add in custom pictures. You can literally click here and add in any sort of pictures you've taken of them, and then title, content, all of that. You can upload them, and then you have your little canvas, which is like the Sims 4 gallery. You can see everyone's creations here. It's kind of laggy, but there's also an internet version which is a lot faster. And you have your little ZOI page with all your ZOIs that you've made. And I love this because you can also link your social media, you can put your own banner, you can really customize it, and it just feels like your own little website in a way. So of course in The Sims 4, it's the gallery. There's definitely a lot more going on here right now, but I think they're both equally good. Honestly, I love them both. Canvas is really fun. The gallery is really fun. You can include custom content or don't. You can go to the most popular, newest, all that. You can change things however you want. And then of course you have your library. Mine is kind of looking like a messy mess right now. Ignore that. Kind of similar to Canvas. There is some things where I prefer Canvas in terms of just how it's laid out. But obviously Canvas is brand new, whereas the gallery's been around forever. But yeah, now with that, I'm gonna wrap this up here. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Honestly, I might redo this when the game is fully out, and then I'll be able to go over the differences with the full version of Create a ZOI. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are all having an amazing day, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys!